Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today we're going to talk about 90 Day Fiancé, Love in Paradise, Season 4, Episode 5, A Wake-Up Call. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or consider subscribing. I appreciate that as well. Hit the like button for everybody and leave me your comments so I know about what you thought about these couples and this episode. We're going to start off with Kyle and Annie. So if you don't know, Kyle is a sperm donor, and Kyle donates his sperm the traditional way and a non-traditional way where he will actually go to meet up with women around the world to help them with their donations on the more intimate basis, if you know what I mean. Well, Annie isn't here for all this. Annie wants Kyle to stop donating to women the personal way because she says, look, we're supposed to be building a relationship. We're boyfriend and girlfriend now, so there's no reason why you would do that. And on top of that, how can I trust you? She even said, are you Captain Saver? But in reality, Annie doesn't want Kyle to donate at all. She feels like, you know what, since you're my man now, it should just be me and you. So Annie has walked away. She's emotional and she apologizes to production. She says she just needs a moment to collect her thoughts, that she's really not as emotional like this, but thinking of how Kyle, who really isn't being as upfront and honest as he can be, and Kyle is sitting down waiting, saying to production, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just being honest. I'm just doing what I do. And I don't know if I can stop giving donations. But Kyle is definitely missing the point. It's not about giving the donations once again. It's how he's giving the donations. Well, Annie gets herself together. She comes back, she sits down and talks with Kyle, and she apologizes to Kyle saying, you know what, I just got besides myself. I don't want our relationship to, get off to a bad start. I love you. I'm having more feelings for you. I just want you to understand what it is that I'm saying. And then Kyle says, oh, well, you're gonna make me cry too. I'm like, are you serious? But in confessionals, Kyle says that he's willing to compromise, but his compromise is, well, maybe Annie can choose the women that he goes give donations for because he doesn't want to stop altogether. And I'm like, no, I don't think she wants to do it like that. In Annie's confessional, she's saying she doesn't know what to do. She says, I don't know if I should sacrifice what I believe in, my morals, my values for a man, or to walk away and get hurt. Next up, Alex and Adriano. So Alex says she's been in Italy for a week and things have been overwhelming, from where they're going to live to having threesomes. But for the time being, she wants to grow her relationship with Adriano and maybe table having threesomes and moving and all those things that Adriano wants to do. Well, Alex's cousin Tiffany is in Italy because she's traveling Europe, and they're gonna meet up for an activity today. And so they meet up at a pottery place. And, I guess they are really trying to make some real pottery because Alex says Southern Italy is known for the ceramics. And you know what? I have to look that up to see if that really is true. The conversation comes up from the dinner a few nights ago because when Tiffany first came into town, she actually met Alex and Adriano, and the topic of religion came up and the topic of having other women in the relationship came up. And it turned out that Adriano isn't religious at all. Matter of fact, he said he doesn't believe, so that would make him an atheist. But Alex said that her family is Christian and they believe, and that, it's a red flag for her. And you know what? Once again, I'm thinking, Alex, you may not have known about the religious thing with Adriano, but you did know about the threesomes. And see, part of their background is that they met while she was visiting Italy on vacation a year ago. So they've only known each other 1 year, but in total have been together with each other 10 days. That's not enough time. And on top of that, it comes out that Adriano has broken up with Alex 2 times before about the threesome thing, because he's just really on this, I want a threesome, doesn't matter what you say, get over it, it's fun. You don't like it, then I don't know what this can be. Well, Tiffany is telling Alex that, you know what, you can't just dismiss the red flags. You have to work through those red flags, and maybe you have to figure out if Adriano really is the man for you. So Alex still has the mindset of, well, she's 30 now. She thought she would have like the fairy tale life of the house, the kids, the dog, the husband, you know, all that comes along with the fairy tale by the time you're 30. And though she hasn't reached that yet, she feels like maybe Adriano is the guy that she's met and he might be the one, even though there's red flags. But then Tiffany told her something like, you know what, maybe 30 isn't what you thought it would be. You know, it's not always going to be the same for everybody. There's plenty of time to get married, have kids, and have all the things that you want. And then Tiffany made a good point when she said that if you keep spending time with the wrong person, then the right person won't have time to come. Pretty much blocking your blessings is what I feel Tiffany was trying to say. And for me, that was a mic drop. And Alex actually sat back. She was thinking about it. She's like, yeah, you're right. This may not be the relationship that I want it to be. Also, the conversation comes up where Alex tells Adriano about living life as a Black woman in America. And sometimes, you know, you may get some sort of racism. And what happens if they have kids, but she specifically said, what if we have a daughter that's gonna be mixed because he's Italian, she's Black or African American, and what if the daughter comes home and says that she was bullied? She said that Adriano told her, you know, when she told him about the things that she's gone through, to suck it up. And she said she didn't feel that was right, not just to tell her to suck it up, but it definitely wouldn't be right to tell their children to suck it up as well. And I'm like, Alex, red flags do not change to green. Next up, we have Shawn and Alliya, formerly known as Douglas. So Alliya goes out in the afternoon to talk with her good friend Jackie, who Alliya said that they met while Shawn and her were vacationing, and they've been friends ever since. But Jackie hasn't seen Alliya as Alliya. So when they meet up, and it's also the week of Alliya's 25th birthday, Jackie's like, oh my gosh, you look so good. You seem much more open, so much vibrant, more like you. She said, when I met you as Douglas, you seem more reserved, seem really shy and timid, and I'm liking the person that you've become. If you're living your truth and it's a new day, it's now or never, I'm happy for whoever it is, whether it be Alliya, Douglas, Shawn, whoever is on this show, any show, or just in life in general. Live your truth. Be who you want to be. So the question came up from Jackie to Alliya, how does Shawn feel now that you are more transitioned over to being Alliya versus Douglas? And then, of course, Alliya says that Shawn isn't really on board, but he's going to have to get on board because, you know what, this is who I am now. And it's pretty much like it or leave it. And one thing I do like about Alliya is that there's no apologies. And the conversation also comes up, Jackie asks, do you feel like you want to go through the whole transition, or you just want to get separate work done, you know, different cosmetic procedures? And Alliya admitted that she wanted to take some fat from her stomach to put her on her behind to make it much more full, much more round. I'm like, well, you really don't have too much to move, but if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Alliya also says that she's not interested in doing the full transition for the gender reassignment, but the cosmetic surgery will do what it needs to do for now. So, well, later in the episode, it's Alliya, Shawn, Jackie, and 2 other friends, and now Alliya is sitting around, and everyone is sitting around a campfire, or a bonfire I should say, and Alliya has written a letter to her former self Douglas, and also brought a picture. It was just a letter reading and a ceremony of like a goodbye. This is who I was then. I'm saying goodbye to that person and becoming who I am now. And it was very emotional for her. And Shawn was sitting there listening to it, and he looked like he was into what Alliya was saying, but Shawn has been teeter-tottering all this time whether he wants to be with Alliya or he wants to be with Doug. Because Shawn has said before he's been with both men and women, but he's more attracted to Alliya when he was Douglas. So after the ceremony, Alliya received love and Shawn and Alliya walked off on the beach hand in hand. So who knows what happened at the end of the evening. Finally, we have Luke and Madeline. So after Luke told Madeleine the night before that, you know, he just don't have the money anymore. He lost his job. He doesn't know what he's gonna do. But at the same time, he showed her a prototype of some sunglasses, said that he spent his 401k, well, half of his 401k, which is about $10,000, getting these sunglasses produced. And Madeleine is like, why are you spending the monies? You shouldn't have spent all this money without asking me. Luke, listen, you already knew you didn't have no job. Your investments fell through. Why, you know, if you knew that already, you should have canceled this investment with the sunglasses unless it was too late. But if it wasn't too late, how are you gonna market these sunglasses without using the rest of your 401ks? Well, in the evening time after the conversation went down, Luke decided he was going to go out. He's going to meet up with the husband of Madeleine's friend, Brian. When Luke meet up with Brian, Luke is telling Brian about how he lost his job, how he, you know, put out the 401k for the sunglasses. Now, Brian asked him, well, how much did you spend on this? He said, well, it was a little under $11,000. He was like $10,999. And Brian was looking at him like, what? You were spending money? Well, then Luke admitted that Madeleine is upset because of not having a job and the different investments. And Luke said that Madeleine is not going to be happy when he keeps dropping truth bombs on her. I said, Luke, you need to continue to tell her the truth because honesty is the best policy. Well, Luke also admitted to Brian that he was afraid to tell Madeleine about just the investments falling through. He's not gonna live in Colombia like she thought. That's the whole reason why he's coming. And basically he was saying he feels like she may not necessarily love him for him, but may only love him for the money. Now, Brian to me made a really good point. He said, Luke, he said, why are you scared about the opinion of a 19-year-old? He said, how's a 19-year-old gonna make you feel bad or scared about your investments, your losses? He said, what are you talking about? He said, she don't even have the life experience to even tell you what it is to do. Now, I agree with that. She is 19, Luke is 30. And at the same time, I can see Luke because technically him and Madeleine are engaged, but I mean, he still needs to be truthful about the things he's got going on that's going right or wrong if they're going to be married. And Luke also said something that was a surprise to me. He said that he is renting out an apartment in the same building that him and Madeleine live in. And I'm like, what? It's an investment that he bought for $300,000 that he rents out to tourists when they come to town. I said, Luke, $300,000, then what you need to do, since you're cash poor, you have no money, you count your coins, and the only thing you have left is whatever's remaining for the 401k, is sell that apartment that you're renting out to tourists, because it doesn't sound like the money generated from that is enough to keep you afloat since you've had all your hands in the cookie jar. And what they say, the cookie jar has crumbled. So, yeah, Luke also admitted in confessional that he feels that it's because of Madeleine's age, that her reactions to the things that's going on aren't the best, and he's just not sure how things can continue to move on. Now, after the hangout with Brian and Luke, there's a quick scene of the next day when Madeleine and Luke are actually at the investment apartment, that they're cleaning it up and getting it ready. Madeleine is cleaning up. She is like doing things as slow as possible, like she's sweeping real slow and just moving at her own pace. And even Luke is looking at her like, do you need help with that? Or why don't you just let me do it? I could get it done faster. She's like, no. See, she's upset because she don't want to be there and her feelings are hurt because, again, the money isn't what she thought it was. But Luke said that someone staying in the apartment for 8 days, it was going to bring in a $1,900 of revenue. Now, after that scene, we have Luke and Madeline going to Madeleine's grandmother's house. So Luke can say hello to the family. At the grandma's house, it's grandmother, Madeline's Aunt Paola, and one of her little cousins are there. And they're making tamales and they're welcoming Luke. And another surprise about Luke that I didn't realize, well, Luke clearly speaks Portuguese and he was able to have conversation and understand what the grandmother and the aunt was saying. Now, Madeleine did give a background of her grandmother and her aunt. She said that she grew up there with them because her mother left her at an early age. So that is her family, who she considers like her mom. But sitting at the table making those tamales, it gets real uncomfortable for Luke, and Madeleine's not saying a word. And Madeleine's Aunt Paola is looking at Luke like, She knows that the energy is off somehow, because she's really looking at him, but Luke is not really looking at her. He's looking down, pretending like he's having fun doing those tamales. But the conversation comes up about, so, have you set a wedding date? And the grandmother asked the question 3 times. And on the 3rd time, Luke answered. He was like, no, we haven't set one yet. And Madeleine's just making the tamales. She's not even looking, not even saying a word. And Aunt Paola's like, what do you mean no? You have been married, well, you have been engaged for a really long time. You should have a wedding date set by now. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Luke said he met Madeleine on his vacation as well. She's just 19, so a long time. When did he meet her? And how long have they been engaged? That's what I want to know. Well, anyways, Grandma said, well, whenever you do get married, I want you to wear my wedding dress. And Madeleine was like, oh, yes, I'll wear your wedding dress, but I want 3 wedding dresses. One for the wedding, one for the reception, and one for the party. I said, isn't the reception and the party the same thing? But maybe Madeleine, because, you know, she's got mega money wishes and dreams, maybe it's something different, or maybe for her culture, it might be something different as well. Now, Luke in confessional is saying, you know what? I think Madeleine brought me here to throw me under the bus to make me budge and move. I don't have the cash. I'm cash poor. So it's not gonna be no wedding right now, even though he wants to. It's not happening right now. So then Madeleine goes on to explain that she wants those 3 dresses, she wants a violin, she wants an outdoor venue, she just wants everything because she's a princess. And you know, her family agrees that she's a princess, and so they keep pushing Luke like, so you don't know when this is gonna happen? He's like, not right now. And Luke also mentioned in confessional that Madeleine told him not to bring up any money issues at the table, so that's why he hadn't said anything. Now, outside in confessional, Madeleine's aunt and her grandma are saying that, you know, Luke so far has been a respectable type of guy, but, you know, they better not wait too much longer for this wedding, and they better not, if things don't go right, they better not make Madeleine suffer, because if he does, okay, he's going to be in for it. Now, after Madeleine and Luke leave the grandma's house, they go to see a wedding venue. I'm like, what? A wedding venue for what? You know you don't have the cash. She knows you don't have the cash. She told you that, hey, don't say nothing about not having cash to my grandma and my aunt, but you're going to look at wedding venues anyway? Well, that's what they did. And so they get there. It's an outdoor venue. They're looking around. They're greeted by the host there. And so she's talking about the different things that they can have at the wedding. But of course, things cost, and what they were looking at, well, mainly Madeleine, would cost at least $2,000 for each item that they wanted, which would total up to $20,000. Now, in confessional, Luke said, hearing the word $20,000 was just like, might as well sprinkle pixie dust, because he ain't got it, he ain't budging. So when the hostess leaves, Luke and Madeleine sit down, and Luke says, you know, I want to talk to you about something. He goes, even though I love you with all my heart, I want to know if you'd be willing to sign a prenup. He goes, I know you have your things, I have mine, but I just want to protect the things that I do have. And of course, Madeleine's like, oh, no, you don't trust me? Would I want to get married to someone who won't trust me? Luke is fighting an uphill battle. Mentioning that prenup, that wasn't a good look. So anyways, next week, we're going to stick with Luke and Madeleine. We're going to continue rolling with that prenup. And they're arguing over that because Madeleine wants to know why what the secret is and how come Luke don't trust her. And then we have Alex and Adriano. Alex says her trust is broken over the threesomes and says Adriano broke up with her twice. Girl, get your stuff and come on home. But you know what? Do you and think it's gonna change. I'm here for the mess. So we also have Kyle and Annie. So Kyle is gonna go to a clinic to get a health checkup to make sure he don't have anything during those donations he was doing in person, okay? I was thinking to myself, if I was Annie, first of all, I wouldn't be in Annie's position. Him getting a health checkup, he should have did that before he came, but he's still giving donations in person, so he doesn't respect me. But again, I'm here to watch their mess. And then we also have Shawn and Alliya. Shawn says he has a big surprise for Alliya for her 25th birthday. And I don't know, do y'all think it's a proposal? We'll have to wait and see. So thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.